figures in there? That front end?
Oh, yeah.
Ready?
Yep.
Something in there, eh? Well, which way do you want to face the stove? We can have it, seems kind of big for it to face this way. I feel like we
Yeah,
can
face it this way. And then we'll put our bed here on this side.
So here's a look at camp. Got our table, this is kind of our catch-all. Gear underneath, our clothes and all that. 10 by 12 wall tent. Really comfortable, plenty of space for Sierra and I, and a dog and a cat, I guess. But yeah, nice and toasty in here. Slept really good last night. So it'll be a nice home for a week. Alright, well I'm back from the morning hunt. No deer. We had 5 people sitting out this morning. Nobody saw anything. There wasn't very many shots either, so they must not have been moving around too much this morning. But we just had breakfast. We're going to hang out a little bit, and then I think Sierra and I are going to go try a different spot on some public land. I have a pretty good feeling that there might be a deer in there. So I'm going to walk around this afternoon and then sit out this evening. Hopefully we see one. So I just got back from the morning hunt, didn't see anything, But I want to show you guys the rifle that I use for deer hunting. This is a Marlin 30-30, and this gun belonged to my grandpa. And he died when I was 15, and I inherited this gun. And I'm not really into possessions or anything like that, but this is definitely the favorite, or my favorite item that I own. I take really good care of it. He bought this gun when he was 15 years old in 1956 from a gas station. So how cool is that? It's an old gun, but it works just like it should. It's never once jammed on me. I've been using it ever since he died. He took a lot of deer with it, and I've taken my fair share as well. So it shoots true, and like I said, never jams, works exactly as it should. So it's just iron sights, no scope on it. I've never hunted with a scope in my life. Not because I'm some great shot or anything, just because we don't really field hunt. It's all in the woods, you know. So the farthest shot I ever have is like 50 yards, or 75 yards would be a poke for me. So it's a nice little brush gun for close range shots, which is usually what I have. So it's perfect. 30-30s are small, they're lightweight, and they're plenty adequate for deer hunting. The only sketchy thing about this gun is there's not really a safety, and when you jack a shell in, the hammer comes back, so the gun is ready to fire. So it's a little sketchy. Then you got to take your thumb and put it on the hammer and press the trigger and slowly walk the hammer forward, but not too hard, or not too fast, otherwise the gun's going to shoot. Anyways, I wanted to show you guys this, because it is, like I said, my favorite possession. My grandpa's name was Steve, so you can see there's a little S on the stock there that he put on there when he was a kid. And then at one point, I think he was keeping tallies of his deer, because there's notches in the stock as well. But he definitely got more deer than that, so he must have gave that up at some point. But this is what I deer hunt with. Yeah, hopefully one day I'm passing this rifle on to my kid. So I've showed this property in a video a couple years ago. But this is the original homestead that my great-grandparents settled on when they immigrated here. So this was all woods. They made a field, farmed it. My grandpa had a blacksmith shop at one point, which was actually right here. So a lot of history here. Pretty lucky to still have this property in the family. But in northern Minnesota, there's a lot of Scandinavians, from Finland, Sweden, Norway. Because when they immigrated here, they wanted to settle in areas that they knew how to farm. It's the same type of land, same type of trees, same type of animals as they have over there. Same climate, cold weather, and they knew how to farm it and everything. So it only made sense that most of them settled up in the Northwoods, because they knew the drill. They knew how to farm it and everything. So it wasn't like it was foreign to them. This is a little cabin. I'll give you guys a little tour of this cabin, because it's kind of fun to see cabins. This is 16 feet by 24 feet, so for those of you that are designing a cabin or have cabin aspirations, this will give you an idea on size. And all it's sitting on for a foundation is just railroad ties on each corner. So there you go. Some things can be really simple. And yeah, it's settled a little bit. It needs to be jacked up pretty soon, but still in very good shape. Let's head in here. Again, 16 by 24 this is. So it's a 16 by 16 living room area and kitchen. It's a little bit, this looks a lot different than when my grandparents actually stayed in it. There used to be a wood stove over here, but they got rid of that and got a propane heater, because this is a guest cabin now, and not everybody wants to run a wood stove or really knows how to, so they just put a propane heater in it like 20 years ago. But yeah, pretty simple. 16 by 16 living room and kitchen area, plenty big. And then the two back bedrooms here are each 8 foot by 8 foot, so just bunks. But yeah, this is a pretty nice design, very simple. When Sierra and I were building our cabin that we live in, I was really pushing to try to go for a 16 by 24. We ended up going 20 foot by 32 foot. And the extra space is nice, but 16 by 24 is just, I think it's a great size. Everything comes out perfect, so there's like no waste. You don't have to do a whole lot of cutting, with dimensional lumber. And I think it's plenty big, especially if you had a full loft upstairs, 16 by 24 with a full loft would be pretty nice. You could definitely have a family of 4 in that pretty comfortably. And with this size, it just seems like there's a lot of options you could do. They kind of went with just basic, two bunk rooms. But, you could do a bigger room and then a smaller bathroom down here. You could leave this all wide open and have all the rooms upstairs. So there's a lot you can do with this space. Well, that's another night in the woods without seeing anything, so a little discouraging. Who knows, maybe they'll be moving around the next day or two with that snow coming. I sure hope so. All right, well, I'm parked here. I'm gonna head down this road. There's been some logging activity that's gone on down this road a ways, but I'm just gonna sneak right down this road, stop and kind of sit a little bit at those logged off areas and see if we can't jump one. Because it's raining right now. I just don't think they're moving. Nobody in our hunting party has seen a deer yet, so I'm gonna try to kick one up, get out and stir them up and make them get up and move if I can. Pretty miserable weather right now. I think I'm gonna walk around this lake a little bit, see if I can't kick one up. Probably put on 3 miles already, so I'm 3 miles from the truck. I'm gonna head up this way about another half mile and see if I can jump one, and then I got to walk back. Might see something there. But it is miserable weather right now. They're definitely not moving in this stuff, so all I'm doing is getting out and hoping I can stir one up and kick one up from its bed. That's about all you can do. All this rain's gonna turn into snow later this afternoon. So tomorrow morning there should be a fresh blanket of white snow. And I love that for deer hunting because then you can see all the fresh tracks, follow them. You can be really quiet in the woods and sneak around. So tomorrow looks a little bit better than this soggy stuff. This is pretty miserable. Well, I am back, and the first order of business is to get a fire going so I can dry out my wet clothes. Well, that was a pretty cold, wet, miserable morning. I'm gonna dry out my clothes. Hopefully this rain turns to snow for the evening hunt. That will be much better. And hopefully we see something tonight. Okay, well, we got some heat going. Those clothes should dry out in no time. This stove is from Northwoods Fabrication. It's the same company that made the stove that's in the log cabin. And, you know, I speak really highly of these stoves because I love them, but he's got a stove for every application you could possibly think of. Different sizes, different models. This one is meant for wall tents. It's more of a packable stove. You know, the legs come off. It's really lightweight, actually, for how big it is. But yeah, just a steel plate stove, nice flat cooktop. perfect for a wall tent. And like I said, lightweight, so easy enough to pack around. So this is kind of the winter camping stove, since it's a lot more portable. But yeah, check out that website if you guys haven't yet. The guy's name's David, and he makes a really good product. And it's made in the USA. And I have two stoves from him now, and I love them both. And I couldn't recommend them enough. Well, I'm back from the night hunt. Nothing tonight either, so tomorrow's Friday. I have one more day. It's supposed to snow overnight tonight. One more day of hunting here, and then I have to go to a funeral on Saturday. And if I don't get anything tomorrow, I'm not gonna hunt here next week. Sierra and I are gonna go somewhere else. We'll go about 20 miles up the road to a different spot, some public land that I think will be pretty good. There's pretty good deer sign there, and we're just gonna move camp over there, because you know I got a lot of hours logged in these woods without even seeing a single deer. So no point sitting here. We're just gonna move. So yeah, the stove collapses right down like this. You can toss the legs right in there. It's pretty nice. So that wraps up the first week of Minnesota deer hunting. Unfortunately, we didn't get a deer, didn't even see one, so that's not too good. But anyways, there's one more week and a weekend of deer hunting left, so there still is time. But based on what I'm seeing around here and the lack of sign and the lack of shooting in the area, I think just the numbers are down, and they have been the last few years, so is what it is. But we're gonna shift gears, try a different location next week and next weekend, and pretty confident that we'll be able to get one in our new spot. So stay tuned for that, and I will see you guys in the next video.